This week we are talking about Thor Love and Thunder, the coronavirus delays, and Call of Duty Warzone, plus a lot more, so stick around on your Herd with Nerds.
All right, welcome into the podcast. I'm Brett.
I'm Dorian.
And we got a bunch of news for you.
We sure do, yeah. Like every Friday when we record this podcast, some big piece of news breaks.
Yeah, I'm sure something's going to happen.
Oh, it always does.
Are you on do you have your phone or anything pulled up? I might as well pull up IGN or something right now.
Something, yeah, Nerdist or what have you. Yeah, just for our breaking
news.
Yeah, breaking news coverage, yeah. Exactly.
I'll look up Nerdist right now.
Yeah.
It's the front page. It says every big event canceled due to COVID-19.
Yep, which we will be talking about.
We will be. We're not going to fearmonger. We're just going to talk about kind of how it's affecting
the entertainment industry
because it is.
Yeah.
And we are the ones that are going to suffer for it for at least what seems like the next foreseeable future.
Yeah, I mean, it's... Yeah, I mean, like I said, we'll get into it in a little bit.
But some kind of breaking news that happened this last week was we got some Thor Love and Thunder details.
We sure did, yeah.
Talking about what Christian Bale's role is, and he is confirmed to be the villain from multiple sources, one of them being Tessa Thompson, who's Valkyrie.
Yeah.
So, what do you think of this news? And I guess Vin Diesel, too. He pretty much, he's talked about at least, not the Christian Bale thing, but the Guardians being involved potentially in Thor Love and Thunder.
Right, and then there's also that rumor that Liam Hemsworth, which is Chris Hemsworth's brother, is rumored to play Beta Ray Bill. So in terms of what my opinion is on all this information, so I'm really interested to see Christian Bale play the villain and who he plays, just because I really think Bale is really good in a villain role. I think he just has the capacity for it.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't really seen that in the main media of him being a villain.
Not really. No, not like big mainstream movies or anything like that. Now Liam Hemsworth getting cast as Beta Ray Bill, I think would be pretty meta, seeing how he originally auditioned to be Thor, and essentially you're getting the bootleg discount version of Thor with Beta Ray Bill.
Because doesn't Beta Ray end up wielding Stormbreaker?
I don't know if it's Stormbreaker. I know it's one of his hammers. I think it might be Mjolnir, yeah. Which, I mean, in this universe...
Well, I think he wields it, and then they create the Stormbreaker for him, potentially. I don't know.
Well, right, because, I mean, in this timeline, Mjolnir is gone.
Yeah.
And all Thor has is Stormbreaker, so... Who knows? But
yeah, I don't know what they'll do.
Yeah,
maybe they'll just build a whole different weapon. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean they might not just they may just not just have the character in there altogether, just based on the complications of doing it here. I mean, that'd be my guess, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But then the Guardians possibly showing up. I mean, obviously makes a lot of sense, just because at the end of Endgame we kind of got that tease of
Bro Thor with the
Guardians. Essentially, he's leaving New Asgard. He's going on adventures with them for the most part. And I mean, obviously Thor Ragnarok was pretty much done in the style of a Guardians movie for the most part. Had 80s music. You had a lot of neon colors. A good portion of the movie is taking place in outer space and on weird planets and all that. So if Thor Love and Thunder is going to follow kind of the same suit of that, then yeah, it makes total sense for them to show up. Plus, you have it be similar to kind of like Doctor Strange's cameo in Ragnarok here, and you're pretty much good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In other news, we had it leaked early. It was a Nintendo reveal about Super Mario and a Legos partnership.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at first I was like, okay, this is exciting when it leaked,
right?
Because we didn't really have a lot of information
when the teaser trailer came out for it. Yeah,
I didn't even watch the teaser trailer.
Oh, really? Okay.
No, this was just before. It was a couple days before they released the trailer.
Yeah, actually detailing the set here.
Yeah, and then they showed the set, and I was really underwhelmed.
Yeah, just getting into some details about this. So basically, the Mario figure of this set has like an LED screen and a speaker, and also has Bluetooth capacity from what I was seeing on the back of the figure. And basically what it does is reacts to different Lego pieces. So like if you stomp on a Goomba, it makes the Goomba stomping sound, or like, you know, you hit like a question block or something like that, or even when you go down the flagpole, it makes a sound and, like, you know, plays the music. Yeah, that one. So all in all, that being said, I mean, I would have probably been all about this when I was a kid, just because, I mean, you know, I was just really big into Nintendo and Legos back then. So, I mean, it would have been like a match made in heaven.
Sure.
But it seems like a very, very basic Lego set because...
Yeah, that's kind of what I was like. I saw it and I was like, that's it?
Yeah, well...
No Bowser's Castle, no...
Right. I mean, unless
no
like...
actual, like, bigger Mario level, more complicated.
Unless, like, that stuff is coming later or something like that. But
this is the beginning of the partnership.
Right, exactly. Now,
but it's going to be expensive.
Oh, you know it is.
Especially with the Mario character having the LED screen. I guarantee you that set's probably $100. Easy.
You know, it's yeah, I can see that. But no, and then also you have but no, it's like with Mario, you have so many crazy levels, crazy, you know, structures that you could build that would be really creative and work really well for Lego. Because, I mean, we were going over that Stranger Things Lego set earlier this week about like how it's like the upside down in the real world, and like you're building.
Yeah,
like,
it was really cool.
It was really cool. I mean, if you don't know what we're talking about,
but it's really cool,
right? But if you don't know what we're talking about, definitely check it out, because it's one of the cooler Lego structures that I've seen in a while here.
I agree.
And yeah, I mean, with Mario, you have like so many opportunities to, like, you know, make some really cool structures and all that. And basically, what this is it's like kind of taking like almost like the overworld map of like Super Mario Brothers 3 or like Super Mario World, just with like less like flair, or like less like, you know, stuff available here. You know, it's a really odd choice for like their first like Mario set that doesn't really seem to like replicate like Mario here.
Yeah, if I were them, I would have kept it really basic. Done like a Mario minifigure, Luigi minifigure, Toad minifigure, Peach minifigure.
Like, yeah,
like the normal like quad, like, or even the trio. You could just do the trio of them, and
yeah, exactly.
Maybe have Toad later or something, or Yoshi,
something.
But then just like literally just do like a normal Lego set. Don't make it complicated.
Yeah, I mean, it could be like, I don't know, just like one of the old school Mario castles that you go to at the end of like every level or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it'd be interesting to see if they actually go with like, you know, kind of more of a vintage Mario set where it's like he's more like 8-bit design. See, now he's already blocky. And
we might get a couple variations, what I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Because think of the collectability, I guess, for kids of the mini Mario figures. Like,
sure,
you could have Block Mario from, you know, Super Mario Bros. You could have this Super Mario. You could have Super Mario Sunshine. You could have Metal Mario.
Right.
You could have, you know, the new Mario from Super Mario Odyssey. You can have...
Yeah, exactly.
All these different minifigs that kids are going to want to collect.
Well, especially like 8-bit, like, you know, vintage, like Mario.
Oh, that would just look cool.
Well, that will look cool, but also that's going to be a hot item. Like, collectors are going to be like all over that one here. I mean, if they do that, I might just buy a set and just sit on it.
Probably.
To be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. CD Projekt Red's next game is set in the Witcher universe, but won't include Geralt.
Correct? Yeah. So basically, CD Projekt Red, the guys that are making Cyberpunk 2077, plus they made all the previous Witcher games. They did say that after Cyberpunk 2077 releases, that they are going back to the Witcher universe and making a new single-player game.
Yeah.
So, but it won't be The Witcher 4. It won't continue Geralt's storyline, or like, you know, most of the characters that we've come to know that have been involved in the main plot, just because they pretty much ended all that in The Witcher 3 for the most part.
Yeah.
But, you know, that being said, if I had to guess, I would say this is probably going to be a game where you create your own character and you kind of flesh out
Skyrim type of thing.
Well, like Skyrim, but I mean, the reason why I say that is just because they're already trying this kind of type of approach with Cyberpunk. So, you get to create your own character. You get to flesh out your character's abilities, powers, and, what have you. So I think maybe in this one, like maybe you have a choice on a different professions. Maybe you can be just a swordsman. Maybe you can be a witcher. Maybe you could be a sorcerer.
Who wouldn't still want to be a witcher?
Right, exactly. So I don't know exactly how it will play out, but I mean, it will be interesting to see. And I mean, I honestly think this is really, for all intents and purposes, is going to be The Witcher 4, just without like the story that's been, tracking along for like the last couple of games.
Right.
I think it'll be new story, new setting, new characters, but it will have like the same mechanics. You'll still go on monster hunts. You'll still go and have like the RPG systems in place and all that. Still doing side quests, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. So, I mean, that game sounds good because here's the deal.
Mm-hmm.
I like Skyrim. I think the mechanics, like I didn't finish the Witcher game, but I think the mechanics in the Witcher game are a lot better.
Yeah. No, I
so
agree.
if they combine those, I think it could be a pretty big seller.
Yeah, a more personalized Witcher game, essentially.
Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Next up, we're going to talk about all the delays that the coronavirus is kind of, I guess, impacting.
Yeah.
And so, right now, it's a decent list, but I'm going to guess it's going to keep growing.
Mm-hmm.
Before we even get into the entertainment piece, like, I guess not even that. Like, we're not even mentioning sports.
Yeah,
So
sports in Disneyland.
March Madness done.
Yeah, March Madness is done.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
NBA
Yeah.
done.
Yep.
At least indefinitely. Like they might finish out their season. They said.
Yeah.
XFL completely done.
Mm-hmm.
Which for a new league that could be detrimental. I don't know if they'll be able to recover from that.
Yeah.
They say they will be able to, but we'll see.
We'll see.
And that's a personal sore spot for me because I was supposed to go to the Dragons game this weekend.
I know.
Or this last weekend.
Yeah.
And I was not able to go because of they canceled it on me.
The city of Seattle pretty much shut down here.
And so, those are all the little things. And yeah, Disneyland shuts down. Disney World shuts down.
Well, even like, not to get on the political side of things, but like Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden, they canceled like their rallies and they're in the middle of like a primary election here.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy what's going on.
Yeah.
And then, just the economy and everything. But so let's take a look at, the entertainment piece as far as, movies and video games. So, number one, Mulan is delayed.
Yeah.
This does not have a new release date.
Which this movie was supposed to come out
End of March.
Right. Yeah. We're recording this on the 13th. So like 2 weeks from today, it was supposed to come out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this is,
this does not bode well for like Black Widow or any
that's
of like the
100%
other,
getting delayed.
Yeah. Or like the other, big Disney movies that are going to be coming out like in the next foreseeable future here.
Yeah. So I can see there being no movies for a while. Like I'm talking months. Like,
it could be.
Which, if you own a movie theater, I'm very sorry because you're probably gonna have to shut down. Like
something.
Think of like I don't think the big ones. I don't think Regal's gonna shut down. I don't think AMC.
Yeah, no.
But like
local,
where we live, there's a discount theater. I can see that going down.
Yeah.
Stuff like that where it's gonna be like, families can't go to these events anymore, and younger families can, but if you have like grandparents can't do anything right now.
No, exactly.
Anyway, kind of a surprise to me, but because it's not like I guess it's a pretty big movie, but A Quiet Place 2 has been delayed as well. John Krasinski.
Yeah, a week before it was being released.
A week, yeah. And so John Krasinski came out and said, yeah, we're going to delay it till people could see it together.
Yeah.
We want to all see this. And so, again, this was, I think, probably John Krasinski's call as the director and all that stuff. Do you know what banner it's under?
I do not here.
So it's not just Disney; it's all different sources. But
yeah,
Quiet Place 2 has been delayed, which I was actually looking forward to seeing.
No,
I think
was
that
too.
was probably one of the better movies coming out in the next little while.
Yeah, no, I was looking forward to it. I was kind of interested to see on if it was going to like actually justify a sequel being made, just because I think the first one is
pretty
solid, and also pretty standalone as well here.
Yeah.
But one of the interesting things is like so far there is no new release date for Mulan or A Quiet Place.
No, it's just like on a suspension, basically.
Right. So, I mean,
I'm thinking fall we'll probably get these movies. Maybe summer.
It's a possibility, but I mean, again, it's like, I mean, I don't know what the summer movie schedule lineup is looking like this year. At least not off the top of my head. But, at that point, it's like, these movies, they wanted to come out like before the summer movie season for a reason here. So I think the fact that they're kind of getting moved from like, what they wanted their prime spot to be, and you're having them like, compete with like, say, a movie in the fall that you weren't anticipating, or like, movies in the summer that you were anticipating, that might hurt.
Oh, big time. Fast and the Furious 9 is delayed till April of 2021. Now, I don't get that move at all. Why would you put a date on it, period?
Yeah, I mean,
like, we're going to wait a whole year.
I think just because, I don't know. I guess, I mean, for one, probably because they can afford to.
Yeah, it's a huge movie.
And two, I think because they just want to like just have the definitive, like, say, okay, we're going to delay it. We're not going to like just,
I guess they have first pick now as far as like,
right. We're not going to just let this hang in limbo for,
the
months on
future.
end. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't get it, but I mean, from that standpoint, I guess it's more understandable that like they're going to just delay it until then, like have a set date, not have to worry about what's coming out around it.
Yeah,
yet.
I mean, who knows? You might see that date possibly change.
Oh, I'm sure it'll change.
But
I'm sure it'll change.
Yeah.
New Mutants has been delayed as well, and
we are never going to get this movie. It'll take a miracle.
I'm a prophet.
It will take a miracle at this point.
I said this movie will not come out.
Yeah,
and I can almost guarantee. I can almost guarantee this movie will not see the light of day in theaters. Not to say it won't be released on digital or Blu-ray
at this rate, but I
think it's just gonna go straight digi.
Yeah, but speaking on that note here, because I mean, there's been the argument for a couple of years about movie theaters starting to go the way of the dinosaur, and like streaming and like just releasing movies and everything on digital happening. I mean, this is definitely
this could be what triggers that.
This could be like a big step in that direction, because let's think about it here. Like, what if like these movies that are being delayed and like not going to be hitting the theaters, like what if like Mulan just say
I'm on Disney Plus
Disney Plus next week, or
well, that would bring a lot of people in, I feel like.
Oh yeah.
But I can see it being like an add-on thing, like, hey, for an additional like think Amazon renting.
Additional $6 or something like that.
Yeah, whatever it is, like I think it'll be more expensive than $6. You'll probably end up paying a premium just to see it on a streaming service.
Probably, yeah.
Just because, like, think about like I could have my whole family watching it, and you're gonna get.
Oh yeah, no, you're definitely gonna lose money on
$12 a pop from each of my people. Like, I can see them doing like, hey, if you want to see it now, it's $20, and when it comes out, we'll give you. I don't know. They'll give you like a deal or something. I don't know.
Something, but I mean, it definitely seems like it will be or
they just all start going straight streaming. Like Regal, all those places go, hey, if you want to watch this movie, it's $15 or $20 during this, time while this stuff's going on.
Well, I wonder if like they might do like a movie pass type situation where they do like something, but only for streaming. Like say, hey, you pay X amount,
$20.
You pay X amount of dollars for this month. You get to stream like whatever movies you want. But I mean, I don't think Regal will go that route, just because I mean, obviously you'd have to like have everything in place. And
they're not making money from the ticket sales. They're making money from concessions.
Exactly. But no, and then also you have the fact that of the matter is, I mean, you look at something like Disney Plus here. I mean, Disney Plus still has like issues with its service here. Like, when you're trying to like rewind or get to a certain spot, it does not click as well as say something like Hulu or Netflix here.
Right.
So, I mean, it goes to show that the most powerful entertainment company in the world still cannot, iron out all the issues in its streaming service, which means is like streaming service is just not like something you just one day just say, hey, I'm going to do it. And then the next day it's, perfectly viable here type thing.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree. other delays include Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
As far as the shooting goes,
right.
Now, obviously, this is going to have an impact on when it's released.
I mean,
potentially.
I would imagine so. Yeah. Now, basically, what's going on is they're currently shooting in Prague. The local government issued a warning about the coronavirus, so they shut down the schools and all that. So, yeah, right now they're going to be. So they're basically just putting everything on hold. But no, I think it absolutely could result into the premiere's delay and everything that goes beyond that. But I'm really curious as to like why this series is still filming, just because WandaVision, like, I think wrapped filming up roughly a couple weeks ago, and that's coming out later. And heck, even like at the beginning of the year, we didn't even know when this movie or when this show was coming out. Like, and they announced that they moved it up to, December of 2020.
Yeah.
So it really is surprising to me that they are still filming Falcon and Winter Soldier here.
Yeah. It's kind of odd. Wanda's already done, and maybe for Wanda, it's probably not a location type of thing.
No, it's sets probably, I would imagine.
So a little bit easier to film, probably a little quicker.
Probably, yeah.
I think it'll be okay because you're not these shows aren't coming out till later this year.
Yeah.
And who knows, that Falcon and Winter Soldier, it could have been reshoots or something like that, to where they could be pretty close to done.
Yeah, because typically when we get like a trailer for a movie, the movie's already wrapped for the most part.
Yeah.
They might have maybe a couple scenes or a couple shots they got to do, but you got to think about all the post-production stuff that they have to do. So when we got that Super Bowl teaser where we're getting all these shots that are, post-production, rendered, done, all that stuff. Yeah. No, it's interesting.
Totally.
So hopefully it's just reshoots and that's just all it is here.
Yeah. And they'll be able to pick it up
exactly
sooner than later.
Yep.
Also, in quite bigger news, honestly,
I would say this is
probably the biggest.
I would say, yeah, probably the biggest out of all the coronavirus news, at least for entertainment wise.
E3 has been canceled. For those who don't know what E3 is, it's a huge conference for media, basically video games mostly.
Yeah, and it's essentially been touted as gamer Christmas for the most part. Because this is where the big reveals happen. This is where they show off a lot of the new games, a lot of the new features that you might get in your console, or even new consoles here, which we have 2 new consoles on the way by the end of this year, which who knows how the coronavirus will even affect that here, that could push that back. We'll see.
I'm sure.
But no, it's obviously canceled due to the coronavirus concerns, which, absolutely makes sense. But Microsoft and Ubisoft, which were 2 of the main companies that were going to be presenting over there, they are now doing digital events. So basically kind of like how Nintendo and Sony has been kind of doing for, the last while. And they may do some type of online event, but at that point it's why? Because these companies are perfectly capable of doing their own online event. I don't think they need a third party mediator to say, oh yeah, we'll step in and do this here,
Right.
At least that's just my opinion on it.
Yeah.
But they are still planning on doing a 2021 show, which
Sure.
So
I think by that point, this is it's just going to switch to completely digital format.
I think
they might still have a time where you can come and where you can play demos and stuff, but I don't think we're going to get the big conference style thing that Microsoft and Sony. Yeah, well, Sony didn't even do it last year, did they?
No, they completely skipped out, and they were going to skip out this year period here. So no, I think the thing is, E3 has been dying for the last couple of years. There's been less and less attendance. They even opened it up to the public for them to actually kind of treat it almost like a Comic-Con or PAX.
Yep.
And yeah, they basically have not been seeing the turnout that they've wanted to. And, now you're having more and more companies and people pull out of this event. So, I think this is just another nail in the E3 coffin here. I think essentially E3 probably will still exist, like when everything's all said and done. I just think it's not going to be in the same capacity that it once was. Here now, that being said, I mean, I think digital events are going to be the future of the industry. I mean, Nintendo kind of was ahead of its time when doing that.
Big time.
Well, and you got to figure how much money are you saving by not having like a big, public event. You have to invite like thousands of members of the press to go over your video game. You have to do interviews with them. You have to set up demos and kiosks and the stage and all that stuff. I mean, a lot of planning versus like, hey, here's a 40-minute video of all the cool stuff that we got coming out here. And, and then they also have like their treehouse thing, which typically they do. That's mostly in-house stuff that they have. Like they'll have like in-house like Nintendo people or in-house developers just going over their stuff. So
right.
Yeah, I think this is going to be one of the things that I think most companies are going to say, oh wow, we saved this much money on not going to E3 this year. Yeah, let's keep doing that here.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's exactly where we're headed. Is it's going to be mostly digital from here on out.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that I don't think that you are going to be able to get from E3 that you would from a digital event is the demos here, where you have like all these demos and all these games all in the same place. Now, that being said, I mean, there are ways to circumvent that. You can invite members of the press to your office to play the demo and all that stuff and get the first impressions. And you can also
no Disneyland lines though.
No Disneyland lines.
But that means that normal people like you and I would not have access to these
unless
they did online.
Yeah. Which I honestly hope is the future. Like, when big E3 type style event or like digital event happens, basically people just say, okay, we're going to make this demo available on like the PlayStation Store, the Nintendo eShop or something like that. So you can actually play it, get some impressions. And then if you're feeling pretty good about it, you can just pre-order.
Right.
So, I mean, I think
that's potential for sure.
I feel like that could be the future potentially.
Could be. All right. We're going to, actually one more thing before we take a break. I found this out this morning.
Okay.
It's ironic.
Okay.
Pokemon Go released some news. So Niantic came out and said,
stay home.
Yeah, we're not going to make you leave the house, which kind of defeats the purpose of the game.
It really does, but
I get it. Like, It's just interesting that it was just a weird headline. Anyway,
so all three people that still play Pokemon Go.
Yeah, that's the other thing I was going to say is like I don't even know anyone who's playing this still.
Yeah,
except for maybe my brother from time to time when he gets bored. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with our roundtable review. All right, we are back with our roundtable review. Dorian, take it away.
All right, so this week we had Call of Duty Warzone drop, which basically is the Battle Royale mode for Call of Duty Modern Warfare. However...
So do you have to have the new Call of Duty?
No.
It's free?
It's free. You don't even have to have PlayStation Plus to play this.
Really?
Really.
Huh.
So... it's a separate download. Basically has two modes right now. Battle Royale, obviously, and Plunder, which is like where you and your team are trying to get as much cash as possible and like deposit into like these helicopters. That way you can't get robbed or killed and people can take your cash. But yeah, so that being said, it doesn't require PlayStation Plus to play. It does require Xbox Live Gold if you are going to play this here. But other than that, it's pretty much free. You can
PlayStation superior.
Yep. So, getting into like what I like about this game. For starters, no building. It's not Fortnite where you're building structures all over the place and basically the
playing some defense.
Right, or like we've all been there, like the last like 10 people in a Fortnite match, it just becomes like a crazy
building match and
neither player knows what's really going on here or anything like that. But Yeah, and then the shooting mechanics, they're solid. They're what you would expect from a typical Call of Duty game. I mean, tight controls, all that business. And it has like this gulag system where basically if you get killed in like the regular battle royale mode, what ends up happening is your character gets thrown in the gulag, and then what will happen is you will have to square off with another opponent, a 1v1 in like this small arena for a chance to get back into the game.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting take. It's something that I haven't seen before in a battle royale.
Yeah.
So getting into what I do not like. So this is a 99 gigabyte download.
What?
And I think the reason
What?
I think the reason is because you're also getting like it's you're getting the whole package of Modern Warfare added into this thing here. You're just getting the Battle Royale mode for free, but even still, I feel like there's probably a better way you could gone about this here. So also one of the things that I personally have an issue with, I don't play a whole lot of online multiplayer games with like friends and all that. I typically just play alone. So it kind of irritates. Yeah. So it kind of irritates me that there is no free for all mode.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that will eventually come, but I mean, it would have been nice to have that at launch here, just because that's typically how I prefer to play online games.
Sure.
And I think it does lack some simplicity because, things like Fortnite and Apex Legends, pretty straightforward. Don't have to really like delve into a whole lot to understand how to play the game. I mean, it's kind of one of those like easy to learn, difficult to master type situations here.
Yeah.
I think this one kind of does get a little cumbersome at some points, but overall, I think this is a not bad battle royale. And just to be fully transparent, I'm not a big battle royale guy. They're all right.
Sure.
But it definitely takes more inspiration from Apex Legends than Fortnite, in my opinion.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask, is because what it sounded like doesn't have building. It's still a battle royale. It sounds like Apex Legends.
Yeah, I would say by and large, you're gonna get a lot more Apex Legends, just probably with like a little bit more of a grounded feel and more Call of Duty feel. Because like in Apex Legends, you have like these crazy zip lines and all this other stuff. One of the interesting things is like they do have like things like SUVs, helicopters that you can get in and all that, which I would imagine is pretty fun here.
Yeah,
get like 2 or 3 buddies or something like that. But yeah, I think it's a little rough around the edges. I think there's still like some quality of life and improvement things that they could make. But I don't know if I really see myself playing consistently. I've played like maybe about 10 matches roughly, and I'm not like a big fan of the plunder mode. I mean, I think it's nice just for a change of pace or something. But yeah, all in all, I mean, yeah, not bad.
Cool.
So next up, you have been reading a Power Rangers graphic novel called Shattered Grid.
Yeah.
So what's going on there?
A lot. So I grew up in the 1990s.
Yep.
And Power Rangers came around. I think I was about 4 or 5 years old when Mighty Morphin came out. And I was addicted as soon as I saw it. I thought I was super into Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
And martial arts.
Sure. And I mean,
this fit the bill perfect.
Exactly, yeah.
And so I started watching religiously and just got really into it. I stopped watching around, I want to say it was Lost Galaxy. Maybe I saw like one episode of that. So that was like, so there's Mighty Morphin. They had a couple of seasons of Mighty Morphin. Then they would switch every season.
Right.
So they had Zeo, they had Turbo, they had In Space, and then they had Lost Galaxy.
So like,
I just lost all interest when Lost Galaxy came around. And I think I was getting a little older. I was probably like...
No pun intended, right?
Yeah, I was probably like 11 or 12. I don't really remember, but...
Yeah. But
Space was dope.
Lost Galaxy, at what point is that like taking place? Like is that like early 2000s?
Dang. No, I want to say it's before. It's probably like 90. I can check in a second.
Okay.
And I'm not sure. I want to say it's probably right around there, like right around 2000.
Okay.
But let's see. Oh, 99.
99.
So I was 10.
Okay. Yeah.
I just wasn't into it as much, and so I kind of lost interest there.
Yeah.
Um,
But you would say probably Mighty Morphin is like your go-to.
yeah, Mighty Morphin is the one I remember most.
Yeah.
I remember Zeo and Turbo not as much. In Space, I started watching more because I felt like it was just different, than what you gotten before. It was in space. And
sure, yeah,
it was cool.
Just gives you a different thing to appreciate.
Right, and so Shattered Grid is a culmination of like every Power Rangers, basically.
Yeah,
so
okay,
focusing around Mighty Morphin. So Mighty Morphin, they're the main characters of this
storyline.
Adventure.
Yeah,
I'm not going to spoil anything because I honestly think anyone who has had experience with Power Rangers or likes Power Rangers, past, present, or future, whatever, needs to read this.
Really?
Needs to read this.
That good, huh?
Most of it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I sat down, and I don't know how many issues this was. I have no idea because I just got the graphic novel that had all of it in it.
Which, I mean, that's how I prefer to like read comics.
Yeah, I read it in one day.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it was like I powered through it. Like it was super addictive. Like the storyline was very well written, especially for Ranger fans. Super engaging story. Explores like a mythos that they haven't really explained, and I'm talking about the where the Power Ranger powers derive from.
Okay.
And who they derive from.
Gotcha.
So that was pretty cool. The action's cool. The art is great. The villain is awesome. So the villain's name is Draken, and he has been introduced before this line of comics. And so what he is basically, so there's like I'll give a really brief non-spoiler kind of synopsis of who he is and why he's there.
Yeah.
So there's a series that had been going on. This is still part of the normal Mighty Morphin comic book line. It's just they picked it out, kind of like like Batman Court of Owls type of thing.
Sure, yeah.
But right before he had fought with the Rangers, he lost. He got trapped. This is a Power Ranger from a different timeline.
Gotcha.
So he found a way to jump to this timeline, and vice versa. The Rangers of this time, the normal timeline, have gone to that timeline, and so Draken's finding a way to restore his powers. And this isn't a spoiler, I don't think. Draken is Tommy from a different universe, and Tommy is the Green Ranger and the White Ranger.
Yeah.
From Mighty Morphin. And so this Draken is evil. So essentially what happens is, because if you know the Power Rangers basics, Tommy started as evil. He was brainwashed by Rita.
Yeah.
And then the Rangers broke the spell.
Yeah.
And he became good.
So this is like going as if Tommy never got broken from that spell or never got redeemed.
Correct.
Essentially.
So he becomes kind of the bad guy of his thing and merges the White Ranger and Green Ranger powers. And the suit's super dope.
Yeah.
He's just very much he wants to control and dominate, and so great villain. I think I like the storyline a lot. I wish I knew more about it. Like I probably should read around the graphic novel as well to get a full
the other backstory.
Yeah, because there's also the Rangers from the other timelines, and Kimberly's called the Ranger Slayer. She's also got brainwashed. Kimberly's the Pink Ranger, so she got brainwashed by Draken. And so it's just interesting. So those are kind of my likes. My dislikes would be the ending did not do it for me, though pretty interesting.
Okay, so
I just wish it was different. I wish it was classic. It's not classic Power Rangers, but that's not a bad thing.
Would you say it's more along the lines of anticlimactic without getting into any spoilers?
For me, it was.
Okay.
Yeah. You had this huge build up, and then basically it was just something different happened that I was not expecting. And so maybe I need to reread that part, but it was just kind of like, I was just like, oh.
Okay. I guess you're doing that instead type thing here. Okay.
And I didn't hate it. I just didn't like it as much as if it was just like classic.
It wasn't a deal breaker.
No, not at all.
All right.
Because my overall feelings for this is if you were or are a fan of Power Rangers, you need to buy this right now.
Okay. So a couple questions I do have for you on this.
Okay.
So how much of I guess, franchise knowledge do you need to have in order to like, get in and start enjoying this? Or do you need to like actually have like a little bit more understanding of like, more than just Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, or can like just any typical fan of Mighty Morphin jump in and this graphic novel pretty much does like, explains most of the stuff here?
You'll get a lot more if you're at least familiar with other seasons of Power Rangers.
Okay.
But it's not a deal breaker.
Okay. It's not absolutely required to
no,
like,
because
understand
here's
everything.
the deal. Other Rangers from other times will come into the fray.
Right.
I'll just say that. And so if you're not familiar with all the seasons, which I'm not,
yeah,
like you show up and be like, oh, and then you could just research a little bit. Like, oh, that's a guy from Dino
blah, blah,
Charge
blah,
or
yeah.
whatever, like,
okay.
Which I'd never seen any of those. So
Okay.
it's kind of like,
So I mean, for the most part, this graphic novel is by and large self-contained. It doesn't really require like too much like outside input here.
not a lot.
Yeah.
If you do a little bit of homework, you'll be fine.
Okay, fair enough.
It's super good though. Yeah, but that's it. That's all I have for the comic. I hope that people go out and purchase it.
All right. Well, and then next up, another comic, Rise of Kylo Ren. This is the last one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So issue 4. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah. So this issue shows Ben fully becoming Kylo Ren.
Mm-hmm.
So he is on this kind of mission with the Knights of Ren, and Ty, and I can't remember the girl's name. Gosh, I'm just blanking. But the two friends that survived from earlier,
Yeah.
in the comic, meet up with him basically
Okay.
and kind of confront him.
Mm-hmm.
And now Ben's in this situation where he's got to fight them, and so there's gonna be a little bit of spoilers. There's a lot of spoilers. I'm just gonna spoil the whole issue because I don't honestly think it's worth picking up.
Okay, fair enough.
That's another spoiler. It's not worth picking up. He kills Ty, he kills the girl, and then he kills Ren.
Yeah.
And he thusly makes him the leader of the Knights of Ren.
Gotcha. Now, how come he kills Ren? Is there like a specific reason?
He doesn't like him.
Okay.
I don't know.
I mean, all right.
I mean, doesn't respect him, doesn't care for him. He thinks that Kylo's kind of entitled and not all he snuffed up to be, I think. So he kind of just wanted to prove to the Knights of Ren
That, yeah.
I'm sick of this. I'm sick of you guys ridiculing me. I'm going to kill your leader. And it wasn't that hard.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So at the end of the comic, he starts building his lightsaber. And so you actually he takes his old lightsaber and he modifies it. So his lightsaber he has as Kylo Ren is his modified one as Ben.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. So he bleeds that crystal.
Okay.
He breaks it as he bleeds it.
Yeah.
That's why it's unstable.
Right, yeah.
So it shows him ignite it and it's unstable. So he creates the exhaust ports.
Oh, so that's the reason why he has those, just because it wouldn't be able to be contained in like just one exhaust port.
Right.
Gotcha. Interesting.
So I'm really disappointed with this short series. I think it had potential in the beginning, but it kind of fell short. And I would just say don't bother reading it. It doesn't really add anything to the mythos of Star Wars.
All right. Well, another Star Wars related reviews. Clone Wars Season 7, Episode 4.
Unfinished business.
Unfinished business. So you and I both watched this. What'd you think?
I thought it was good. I'm kind of in the middle with the Bad Batch. I think that there's cool elements to the Bad Batch, but it's been too many episodes with them.
Yeah, I mean, if this was like something that was like in earlier seasons of Clone Wars, I think, they would just be okay, just fine here and better served.
I think watching this episode, I now understand why this episode even existed, was to see Anakin's slow turn.
Right, yeah, just kind of like getting more and more of like, his mentality of like him being fed up with like Jedi limitations and standards here, which that was probably my favorite part of this episode.
That was the best part.
I mean, because it shows Anakin getting closer to Vader without him being whiny like he is in the movies.
Yeah, so it's still a Bad Batch episode. They basically go and because they've been fighting against the techno that techno group. I can't remember their name.
Techno Union.
Techno Union.
Yeah.
And you're You're still questionable at Echo. I mean,
right. Well, and that's like
kind of the premise of the episode.
pretty much, yeah. Like even like the
Jedi are just fine with it though. They're
even
like, go ahead.
Yeah, even the
Go on this mission.
the recap narrator said like, "Oh, can Echo be trusted?" And then like you had the Bad Batch like consistently questioning Echo's motives, like pretty much throughout the entire episode.
Yeah, and really it gets to a point where Anakin gets to like the leader of the Techno Union and threatens to kill him. He maims him. He cuts off his arms all on his left side, and which is pretty dark considering. And then for a kid's show at least. And then he went to tase him, it looked like, and then Anakin just kills him.
Yep.
I was like, oh. Yeah. And then he takes that detonator and gives it to Wrecker and it blows up all their ships.
Yeah. I mean,
I was like, what?
I mean, they're at war. I mean,
I know they're at war, but I feel like the Jedi would have taken him prisoner.
Yeah.
That's why we see that darkness. And Anakin kind of says something along those lines where he's like, I don't have, because the Techno Union guy was like, you have limitations, you're a Jedi. He's like, I don't have any limitations.
Basically,
and you're like, oh, snap.
Yeah. I mean, no, this is by and large kind of the same old stuff that we've been getting for like the, This was
my favorite of the last few though.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I mean, but it definitely seems like it pushes the story forward a little bit more on Anakin's side, and it definitely seems like it's putting like an end cap to like this Bad Batch.
This was the last Bad Batch unless they come back in the finale or something.
Right. But no, I really didn't think like the Echo storyline didn't really pan out. I mean, I think that was just a lot of I think that was like a lot of like bait and switch here, but
totally.
Yeah.
I thought it was okay though. I thought it was a fun episode. That was probably the one I most enjoyed.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just really just at this point just saying, okay,
where's Ahsoka? Where's Maul?
Well, where is like the actual like finality of this season? Just because so far, like all we've really gotten for like the last 4 weeks has been, okay, this is essentially just like as if this was just another season of Clone Wars. This is not like anything
the final season
new or special or like, yeah, exactly. It's kind of just really taking its time, like getting to like probably like the meat of the season.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I guess that's it.
Yep.
We are done. Thank you guys so much for listening. We greatly appreciate it. Check us out on our social medias, all that and Patreon. Have an awesome week. And remember, everyone's a nerd about something.
We out.
Bye.